Why I keep sticking my neck out for you eludes me. But I only gave you half the poison, Corvo. They were watching me do it, but not close enough. Maybe you'll survive it. I can hardly blame them for turning on you, after all the people slaughtered in the name of this cause. Those are crimes of state, and maybe they figure it'd be too hard to control Emily with you around. Could be they're right on that score. I'll drop you in a boat, and then I've got to ship out myself before they smother me in my sleep. That's the next thing. Makes the most sense. If you're lucky, you'll wake up and find your way out of this doomed city. If not, well, goodbye.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, Samuel. I'll make sure to spit in the boat the next time I get a chance, and you can feel it sloshing all around your heel and toes. Hey, you. Last time we talked, I was passing out, and what did you do, huh? You probably just watched 2 seconds of that end screen and clicked off to go watch some more Asmongold or something. Yeah, don't try and deny it. Hey, you should be supporting the little man. Alright, ice broken, let's get into what I've been doing since our last exchange. I've been getting ferried around like a king, albeit less conscious than I would have liked, and in the fastest fall from grace possible, my kingliness gets hired on as our old buddy Dowd's new go-go dancer. Now, regrettably, my pop and lock game isn't nearly as strong as it used to be, and Dowd is less than stellar about that. He ends up giving me the age-old retirement for any go-go girl, I mean dude. We wake back up in our maximum security holding facility and cleverly work our way out. Can't hold these smarts down. Luckily for us, our captors left a award in a convenient for us, not so convenient for them spot, and we use this to get our next achievement, food chain. With a light work taken care of, we flee this shithole and move on. Seriously, again, Corvo is at this point undoubtedly the most dangerous man in the city, and they put a whole 2 guards in my way. Did Dowd think that my crossbow and my sword they stole was the source of my power and not the creepy little tattoo on my hand that he is very aware of? Regardless of what Dowd thought, him and his boys are for sure on the way to being an afterthought. But before I dispense my own form of justice, I do need to go on a recovery mission because 1, it's linked to an unlock, and 2, Piero would be mad if I lost his gifts, and you do not want to see this creepy little shit start to raise his voice. Trust me.
Where they can be reduced to ashes.
All I have to do is sneak past these llama clams, show off my parkour skills I've been honing in, and crash the least interesting party I've ever been to. I do lose my temper a little bit because on the way down, I hear mention of Big Bear's pawn shop off of Route 1. And seeing all these little fiends standing over my stuff jonesing for the next hit really gets my blood pumping. See, Dan owns the pawn shop and has a history of not working with the original owners of the items he sells, so I felt I need to put a stop to this instantly. Once we've grabbed our belongings, we get our validation to the slaughter in the form of our next achievement, This Is Mine. With our babies back in their rightful owner's hands, we've got some payback to dish out. Naturally, we have to navigate our way through the absolute slums of Dunwall to get to our target. And I want to be honest with you here, this is by far my least favorite part of the game. The ambiance doesn't vibe with me, and a part of me feels like this bit of the story could have been changed for the better. See, for me, Dowd, who killed the Empress and stole Lady Emily, straight up yoinked a child, and also has the Outsider's gifts, should have been more of a final boss, so to speak. The tempo doesn't feel right, the main baddie of the level seems forced, and for me this level is nothing more than a memory that'll be forgotten as soon as I'm done with it. The only highlight I remember from this level is Dowd's stupid little monologue, where he gets the balls to ask us to spare him.
Now I want nothing but to leave this city and fade from the memory of those who reside here. I've had enough killing, so my life is in your hands. Make your choice.
Yeah, okay, psych. With our captors dead and gone, we move into the underbelly of the underbelly and finally blast past the speed bump. And by blast past the speed bump, I mean continue the same incredibly long mission. But at least the second half actually feels like a new mission. We are still in the muddy slums of Dunwall, but we've already taken out Master Yi's sworn nemesis.
Doubt is the greatest enemy.
And we get to move on to more interesting things like listening to this lady give us a mean talking to. But she also tells us the way out and the way forward for our next achievement, Speed of Darkness. Honestly, for being my least favorite mission, this one is jam-packed with achievements, and is also home for the crescendo of the side stories for Slackjaw and Granny. See, Slackjaw's gotten himself into a Kernow situation, and although he does find this position sexually appealing, I mean, have you seen Granny Rags? We once again have to help him out. Or help Granny out? There's an achievement for both, so I have to save scum here, but my canon ending in my head was helping out Granny. But before we get to helping anybody out, we do need to steal one last painting for this bad boy, Art Dealer. Seeing as we're helping out Slackjaw first, we throw Granny's Horcrux in the fire and kill the old bat. Then we release Slackjaw, unlocking the next achievement, Street Conspiracy. His monologue is, unfortunately for him, boring, so we reload into the correct timeline, where Slackjaw instead begs for his life.
What do you want? Money? Weapons?
But we give him a quick bop, toss him into the cauldron like Granny asks, then run upstairs to collect our reward, Gentleman Caller. We start a conversation up with anemic Andy, and he has a usual amount of petty backhands to throw at us, but one thing sticks out that I wanted to highlight. Remember that semi-rant about Dowd and how he should have been the big bad at the beginning of the video?
And Dowd, you just killed the greatest assassin of the age.
See, even the outsider agrees. Now, I know I've spent a good amount of the time in the last 20-ish minutes or so of me talking at you about this game, hating on the outsider, but for once I'm glad to see him because he actually signals the end of this level. Thank God. Oh baby, here we are. All of the struggle has led to this, the last mission on the first playthrough. We are busting the achievement list down bit by bit, with only a few possible left in this run. And at the start of the mission, it brings us back to some familiar surroundings, thankfully. See, with me out of the way, the old crew has the Hound's Pit on lockdown, and we run into Cecilia, who has an interesting story to tell us. Once we were handled, have not rounded everybody but Cecilia up in the yard and let them smoke their last cigarette. Cecilia wants us to believe that she got out of this because she was sick and was able to stay inside, but the only thing that's sick about her is in the bedroom, you know what I'm saying? And I'm betting that's how she was able to avoid all of this mess, but I'll hold my tongue on that.
Havelock kept yelling something about the things he'd done.
With this newfound information, I walk out of the little shack with the plan of holding someone else's tongue very soon and decide it's time to clean up the old hangout. Midway through the killing, I find myself in need of some supplies and decide to raid Piero's workshop. It's not like he needs it or anything. And I have the misfortune of finding out Geek 1 and Geek 2 survive. So much for stealing everything, I guess I'll have to ask now. The Bozo twins let me know they have a security system set up that can make quick work of our infestation, and I get the pleasure of choosing the lethal or non-lethal option. See, it always makes it sweeter when I know that I chose for them to die. They didn't have to.
What is your opinion, Corvo?
One quick talk with God later, and we signal Samuel's stupid skiff and skip our way on over to see about starting the last stretch of slaughter that we'll need to slog through.
Signal. I knew you'd be back, Corvo. I knew it. We should start off soon.
Thankfully, we are finally on our way to the climactic end. You know, minus Dowd, the greatest assassin of the age, but whatever, you know, got swept under the rug. We have a nice chat with Samuel, and he has some interesting things to say. See, the rowdy rough boys had their own little spat shortly after arriving, so this is a four-way throwdown. Just me and Sam versus the world. I've not always liked Sam the man, but I will say this, at least he is always there for me.
So the Admiral's power mad, Martin's a snake, and Lord Pendleton is a coward. And you, Corvo, the things you've done, you could be the worst of us. I've seen a lot traveling with you. Now get off my boat. I'd wish you good luck, but I'd be lying. Out, Corvo.
Yeah, fuck you, Samuel, you prick. I've been waiting for you to say something. We hop out of the boat and we find these conveniently placed blueprints outside on the dock, left in the rain. And the only thing they really reveal is why the lighthouse isn't finished being built yet. Whoever paid this engineer really needs to get their money back. And on top of that, we get to begin one of the funnest rampages this game has to offer. We are fully juiced up at this point, and I'll let the footage speak for itself. We carve our way up to the top to find the final doofbag getting handsy with the most precious little thing in our life.
Stay where you are, Corvo, or I jump.
Corvo!
Don't you threaten me with a good time. And we've finally reached the resolution of the game. Always good to end on a bad joke, but we also get Dunwall and Chaos unlocked as well. And that wraps up our first playthrough. We're about halfway done with our list, but we can grab them all in the second run, which should be much faster. I hope you've enjoyed what I've been doing, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks for watching.